Hello Wanderers, welcome back. It is I, Dave, the Tabletop Wanderer. I hope you are all doing good. And yes, it has been about a week or so. The last couple of days, like 3 days, I've been sick in bed. And that's why there hasn't been any content on the channel. But I'm back. I'm more or less okay now. Getting back up to speed. So it was my weekend off, and I spent the weekend in bed. Yay. But okay, let's do this then. So we are back with Killian, the Shadow of Alnor, and with Streamlined Superheroes, John Frederick's streamlined game for superheroes with superpowers and etc, etc. Okay, so last episode we followed Killian and his former lover. What was her name? I can't remember her name because yes, it was so long ago. It wasn't Bernie, but it was something. Brin, that's it. And we followed Brin and Killian into the hall, the palace, right here in the castle for a sort of a party sort of thing. And then they were attacked, and when we finished off, Killian had just seen Brin talking to the main henchman that was leading the group that attacked the castle. And so we're going to pick up with Killian. He's at home. He's in his home, and he's sitting in his chair in his study, and there's a knock on the door, and he gets up. And he's still got some of his shadow attire on, and he goes to the window and he looks through a gap in the curtain, and he can see that it's Brin, and his mind just comes back to what he had just seen a couple of hours before, her talking to the main henchman, and he started thinking, was she in on it? Why was she talking to him like that? She had fled the hall, right, when they started to attack, and she was actually one, from what he could gather, she was one of the targets for the kidnapping, so to speak. And she managed, with the help of him, the help of Killian, with his help, she managed to escape, so he thought. But then he saw her talking to him sort of casually outside. She was pointing at him and going off on him, and he was just going whatever. Killian couldn't hear anything, but yeah. So Killian goes up to the door, and he opens the door, and Brin walks in. And as he closes the door, she just rushes towards him and tries to hug him, and he puts out his hands, goes, What are you doing here? You're supposed to be going home. You're supposed to be at home. You were nearly kidnapped. And she said, yes, but thanks to you, I wasn't kidnapped. I managed to escape. And Killian's thinking, should he tell her that he saw her talking to the bad dude? Let's see what the Oracle says. Let's get Moses Boyajian's SoloRPG GME right here on the Oracle. I actually have this right here, which is my Oracle dice, but we can use this also. And yes, and so yes is, he is going to tell her something. And we need to roll on the random event generator and on the verb and noun table. Okay, random event generator. We got the random event generator right here. It's a D20. So let's go and see what this is going to give us. A 12. A friendly NPC offers aid. Oh. So, what is this? Okay. So, we got a random NPC offers some aid. But what sort of aid does he offer? We do need to go into the verb and noun. And here we are. It is a D100. So let's see what we get. We got an 89. 89 says submerge. And for the noun, 30. Submerged tower? So, random NPC offers aid. And we have the submerged tower. Okay, so she said that she managed to get away, and Killian turns to her and says, "You got away, but not before you were talking to the big fella, the boss of the gang." She goes, "What? What do you mean?" "What do I mean? I was up on the tower. I saw you talking to him. You're actually pointing your finger at him." And she said, You saw that?" "Yes, I saw that. What was that all about?" She says, "Okay, I'm gonna tell you. The man you saw me talking to, his name is," and I've shown this before. I have a little bit of a setup going on. I did a little bit of a how should I say? Pre-organizing some stuff. Okay, the main characters and stuff like that. And she turns to him. "Oh, well, the fella you saw me talking to, his name is Gutterblight. And he is one of the lieutenants of the Veins. He's the only contact that we have, the magistrates have, on the Veins, and he's been feeding us information. He oversees all of the city's operations in Alnor. So everything, all the mind bend, drug sales and everything goes through him. He was I don't know if you saw, but he's sort of disfigured. He's got his skin is all sort of melted, and that was the product of the first version of the mind bend, and he was badly burnt by it. He said it felt like flames through his veins, burning him, and it melted some of his skin. And we caught him red-handed, and we made him work for us. So he's been offering us hints and tips on a little bit of information here and there on the Veins and their operation. And Killian says, "Okay, then why did he try to kidnap you?" And she turned to him, "Well, that all comes from a plan that we had at the magistrates. We thought that we could get all the priority members of Alnor and Darwin. We could get them all and fake the kidnapping and take them to a safe place. And we thought that would work. And Killian turns to her and says, fake? All those dead guards weren't fake. They're all dead. And she said, yes, I know. And that's why I was going off at him. That's why I was arguing with him. Because what was said, what was agreed upon, was there was no killings. No killings whatsoever. They should be knocked out, but no one should have died there. And that's why I was yelling at him. But why were they going for you? She said, Killian, I'm the lead magistrate of Alnor. I'm the head magistrate. Like, I'm the one. That's why that I thought that we would be protected. Protected? But if you're the lead magistrate and you're the head of this investigation, if you were out from here, how could you lead the investigation? That was all taken care of. We were going to go to... And let's get our map of Dardran, which we haven't seen in a long time. Here is the map of Dardran, and we are right here in Alnor. And she says to him, we were to go to a safe house, a safe place in Orla Lane, in the Thatchroot Forest, where our elven helpers, they were in on this operation also, and that's where we would be hidden. And I would head the operation all from Orla Lane. And Killian says, that's a bit risky, don't you think? Being miles away, trying to get this all under wraps. She turns to him and looks him in the eyes and says, that's why I came to you, Killian. You're the only one that I trust. I don't trust anyone, not even the other magistrates. I don't know how deep the veins are in the city. I don't know. That's why I came straight to you. And Killian looks at her and says, okay then. Let's say that I do believe your story, which I don't. Not yet. Who then in Orla Lane is the man that or who's the one that would be in charge of everything? And she turns to him and says, his name is Alrith. He is the Lord of Orla Lane. Everything was with him. It goes through him. Everything would go through him. He was the one that you saw in the hall. That elf with the white hair. That was him. He is the Lord of Orla Lane, Alrith. Killian says, okay then. Now what are you doing here? I came to talk to you because Gutterblight, he gave me some information which I think you should check out. And Killian says, okay, spit it out. I'm really, really getting tired of this. I don't like all this subterfuge. She says, okay, well, apparently there's a tower that is submerged in Alnor's harbour. And from what Gutterblight told me, I think it's there that the veins are making the mind bend. Killian goes, go on, a bit weird. Are you telling me that they're making this stuff underwater? She says, yes. Gutterblight said that it's a tower that is under the water, and that's where the main factory of everything is, because they need the water to cool down the melting pot, so to speak, of where everything is being cooked. And Killian turns to me and starts shaking his head, goes, "That's weird. That is very weird. Has there been any sort of crazy stuff going on at the harbour?" She says, "Not that I know of. But, this is going really deep, and there's a lot of people involved, and people of power, and so I don't think that they really, really want us to know what is going on." And Killian said, "Okay then, I'll check it out. Now, do me a favour." She says, "What?" "Leave. And pray that you're telling the truth." And she lowers her head and walks towards the door. And as she opens the door, she turns back and looks at him and says, "I'm sorry, Killian. I couldn't have told you more. I'm sorry you had to know this way." And he looks to her and goes, "Leave." She passes the door, closes it behind her, and he runs straight into his study and starts gathering up equipment. And the night has fallen once again upon Alnor, and Killian's making his way across the rooftops through Greenwood District, the Tinkerer's Quarters, and he lands on top of a warehouse. And he's looking around the harbour, and there's no sign of movement. The moon is high. It's a full moon, so there's a lot of light. He can see pretty well. And he starts looking out over the water of the harbour. The black water, the waves just reflecting bits and pieces of the moon. And from nowhere, this little thing starts to bubble in the middle of the harbour. And he can see that it's different than the waves. The waves are more consistent, and that is like bubbling, like the water starting to boil. And those bubbles keep on coming straight towards the harbour. And they're going pretty fast. Now, he can see that whatever it is underwater, and it's moving pretty fast, and it's going in towards the Silvercrest River. I said Silverwood because that's his name, but it's the Silvercrest River. And he can see that it's starting to make its way up the river, and so he's jumping along, going rooftop to rooftop. Now, let's play a little game. Give me a sec, I'll be right back. Okay, we are back, and I went ahead and I did this little makeshift map of Silvercrest River and the buildings all along. I tried to do as best as I could here what this is. I should have left this spot here. You know what? I could do that right now. Yeah. To make it more seem that it is in line with the map. We got a bit of area around here which is trees, and I did not put the trees in, so we'll put the trees in now. Okay, and this way you can see how I draw my beautiful, lovely, ugly trees there. And so this is more or less the garden of the castle, or the entry to the castle. So that will be this area more or less here. It should be a bit more over that way, but you know, it is what it is. And what we are going to do is This little red meeple is whatever that thing is under the water. Okay, and we have Killian right here, and we are going to be rolling for Killian's streetwise. Okay, and Killian is going to be trying to keep up with whatever this is, and whatever this is I'm thinking, because I didn't plan this out, this is just off the cuff like Mage Hammer likes to say. I'll be rolling a d20, so 10 or more is a success. Okay, and we will then he uses a d12 for his streetwise, and we could see that, so he's got a 12. So we'll say that depending on if he gets a success or not, and on the streetwise, that's how many spaces he can move. However, the object underwater also has to roll, and depending on what he gets, or whatever that is, let's say that it is a d10 for that mystery thing, and that will also determine how far he can go. Okay, this is gridded, but we'll say that each of them can move half of whatever they get. So if Killian gets a 12, he can run 6, so we'll say 5 and a bit more, so be here and go there. So I'll tell you what, let's do it this way. If he gets a success, he moves 1 spot. Okay, if he gets a crit, which there's no crits in this game, but if he does get 20, he can move 2. Okay, likewise with whatever object this is. I know what it is, you probably already guessed, but that's how we're going to do it. Okay, or should I try? No, because it's a thing, I want to use Streamlined Superheroes, and I'm using it, but if I don't use the Streetwise dice, I'm not using Streamlined Superheroes. Okay, so we're going to roll, and we'll half everything, and that'll be how many yards that he can move. Okay, so let's get into it. So Killian's up on top of the warehouse roof, and he sees the bubbling, and the bubbling starts to go into the river. So let's see who is going to go. We'll do initiative, so we'll roll for Killian first. He's got a 2. Okay, that's good. And the other, okay, they got a 5. So, but they do move. So let's roll to see how far this would go. That's a success. Okay, 5 divided by 2 is 2.5, and we'll round them down so he can move 2 spaces. So we'll go 1, 2 right there. Now Killian has to try and overtake this before they get off the map. Okay, let's go. 16, that is a nice big success, and he can move 2 spots also. 1, 2. Now the other dudes, 20. Oh, ouch. Okay, 2. We'll give him 3 because he got a 20. 1, 2, 3. Killian, you gotta get moving, dude. An 8. Oh, that's a fail. Wait, he does have 3 decks. So 3 decks, that will be 11. So that does give him a success. And that is a 9. That is 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's starting to overtake them. Let's see how they roll out. A 12, that is a success with 2. 1, 2. Killian, or the shadow, I should say. 18. Oh. 12. Oosh. So that is 6 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, there you go. 2. They miss. Now Killian has a chance to get onto that bridge right there. Not with a 2, he doesn't. It's their turn. 18, they do move. Ooh, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's still got a chance to get onto the bridge. 7 plus 3 is 10. That is a success. And he gets 4. 1, 2, 3. And he's up on the bridge. Now, let's see what happens. It's their turn. The mystery object. 20! Ow! He moves 4, so he goes 1, 2. He is under the bridge. Now, Killian is looking down over the bridge, and he can see this sort of cigar shape underneath the water. The light of the moon just can... He can see it glistening off this sort of metallic thing. And that means that that whatever it is, it had to come up a bit from the deep. So he got up a bit higher, and he could see that. Now he is going to do what? Let me see. He's got his grappling hook. So he's going to take out his grappling hook, and he's going to fire it at whatever that shape is. And he nails it with a 19. And his grappling hook is a D6, which is in his utility pouch. Oh, a 6. So he gets out the grappling hook, and the hook goes flying and goes straight into the water and just goes bang into the side of the metallic object. And it holds on to whatever it is. As it's going by, it pushes and drags Killian along. However, whatever that thing is, it sensed that something had hit it, and its engines started to slowly turn off, and it started to come up to the top of the water, and it breaks through. And Killian, he's standing on top of this sort of cigar-shaped submarine. And halfway along the submarine, there's this sort of hatchway, a hatch sort of thing there. And he can see this wheel turning, and the hatch opens up. And out of the hatch, a head pops out. It's a head that Killian has seen before. Its face, the face is all sort of melted. He's a big fella. And the fella turns to him and says, "Who the hell are you?" And that's where we're going to stop this episode. Thank you all for watching. I hope you did enjoy. Sorry for not posting so much stuff lately, but yeah, I am back, and I will be doing more stuff. And I've been, all these couple of days I've been sick, I've been thinking about the channel and all that, and so what I am going to be doing is I'm going to be finishing off stuff that I have started. First off, I'm going to finish off The Shadow of Alnor Season 2, and then I also have the 4 Against Darkness playthrough that is like over there somewhere, and also the sci-fi campaign that I was doing. So I'll be finishing those off first before I do get into anything else. I've got some stuff planned up, and yeah, that's about it. That's about about the news for the channel. So once again, thank you for watching. I hope you did enjoy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I want to say thank you to Jamie, my member. And if you do want to join the members, you know, it's $1 a month, and I do appreciate it. Go check out Streamlined Superheroes from John Fredericks, and of course SoloRPG GME from Moses Boyajian, Wilderness Cave. He also has some really good stuff there. Okay, and of course go and check out each of their channels. So Wilderness Cave for Moses, and John is Sharp Mountain Games. He's just started up the new campaign for Millennium. Go and check that out, where he's using this in its full capacity of the Streamlined Superheroes. Okay, and don't forget, also check out all the other good YouTube channels that I mentioned. Mage Hammer's Game Table. Don't forget to check his book out also, and also Solo Spelunking, who has started also a new campaign, sci-fi sort of thing. It's a bit weird, but it's fun. It's fun. Okay, have a great one. Bye-bye.